Hello and welcome to my presentation on blended learning. So a lot of people ask, what is blended learning? They aren't really sure what it means. So I found two definitions that really help explain it. The first one comes from Wikipedia. It says, blended learning refers to a mixing of different learning environments. The phrase has many specific meanings based upon the context in which it is used. Blended learning gives learners and teachers a potential environment to learn and teach more effectively. Okay, so using different things. The next definition really goes more in depth into how we can use blended learning in our classrooms in the modern day. So this says, this term normally refers to combining internet-based distance learning with face-to-face tuition, but it may also be used to describe combining offline ICT-based materials with more traditional materials such as books, audio cassettes, and video cassettes. So what blended learning is essentially using technology in our classrooms to help better teach our students. Some examples of blended learning are, for example, the students watch a video on the computer and then discuss it in class. This could be a tutorial on something. It could be a little fun video explaining the subject that they're working on. In multiple schools around the country, especially in Utah, they've started to transition away from paper-based textbooks. They are now using digital textbooks on mediums such as the iPad to allow the students to be able to read their textbook and still be hooked in technologically. Another great example that we used in my own classroom when I was going through school was dissecting a digital frog. The teacher would pull up this program, and we would have the same experience of dissecting a frog. You get to see everything, things would be explained, and we never actually had to deal with a dead frog. So it was great. It involved more students. Students weren't afraid of touching the frog. So this was a great idea. So these are just a few of the limitless examples of blended learning. Another thing that's very popular nowadays as part of blended learning is the flipped classroom. They're exactly what they say. Rather than going to school and listening to a teacher and then going home and doing homework as is traditionally done, students will often go home and listen to a pre-recorded lecture of the teacher and then go to school with that knowledge already and do things such as group work, projects, and other assignments that would have been given normally as homework. This has been seen to produce great results. Students are able to learn at their own pace using this method. You can pause a video and rewind and search other ways to understand the problem, whereas with the traditional classroom you can't really pause a teacher and rewind them. So this is a relatively new idea, but so far it has shown great results. Blended learning in my own classroom, I really like the idea of using technology in a Japanese classroom. For example, let's take this character here on the left. One thing that I really would like to do is when teaching students kanji, rather than just getting up in the classroom and saying this kanji has this many strokes and it's pronounced this way and it means that, which is awfully boring, I would rather get the students involved and have them find out for themselves. So a great way to do this is Jim Breen's Kanji Dictionary. I use this often in my own study, so I know how valuable this resource is. So let's take this kanji here. We can look at it and see, as a whole, we have no clue what this means. But when we break it down, as the students would be able to at this point, we can see multiple radicals, such as this one, this one, this one, and this one. So if we go to Jim Breen's dictionary here, what we see is an online dictionary that gives us a way to look up our words by our radicals. So for example, in that character we had the radical for heart, which is right here. Then we also had this radical. The students would be able to break down these kanji, recognize radicals, and then be able to search them to try and find different kanji. So we search that, and oh, there we go. We have that character. Now we're able to look it up, see its pronunciation, which in this case is I, or itoshi, see its English meaning, so which is love or affection. This is often one of the first kanji that people learn, which is why I decided to use this one. And we're also to see more things that maybe not more as apparent to some students, such as the grade level that this would be learned at in Japanese school, or the especially difficult thing is the stroke count. Often students have a hard time figuring out, is this 1 strokes, is it 2, how does this combine? So this is a great resource for kanji learning. Another way that I want to use it is to have students involved with the language. Such in most American classrooms, they do not get very much exposure to Japanese. So I feel that by being able to bring Japanese into the classroom and have somebody else besides me doing the talking will be a great benefit for the students. So for example, I have this one video, and as that loads, as soon as I can skip this video, I'll show you another one as well. Alright, so as that's loading, so here's another example of this. By being able to bring other educators into the classroom, even if they are not physically there, students will be able to get a change of pace and maybe learn something differently because maybe I was not able to present it the best way or explain it to the best that they can learn. So for example, we have this video.
図書館へ行きましたね。
図書館へ行きました。
あ、そうですか？本当ですか？
So for example, that one is just a conversation class that another teacher has taught, and I feel that by bringing them in, students will be able to learn a whole lot more. So back to this original video. This is a little video that was played in Japan on the TV.
縄跳び。
縄跳び？こちらが最初のびっくり高校生、鈴木めぐみちゃん。実は彼女、
So what this is just a world record being broken, but it's a fun way for students to be able to be involved with the language and actually hear it. This girl ends up going 160 times in 30 seconds, in case you were wondering. But that is basically my idea of blended learning. I really look forward to using this in my own classroom and learning more techniques to be able to better help my students. And here are my references. Thank you for listening.